can you imagine their species? Their blood is blue and valuable than gold. They can save millions of people every year, but now they are going to extinct. This is not the scientific story. This is the real story of the horseshoe crabs. Horseshoe crabs is an old species had lived on Earth for 450 million years. They had experienced 5 times of animals' extinctions, and they survived. But now they are getting the risk of extinct because of the human activities. So why choose to focus on this issue? When I was 12 years old, I had traveled to Hainan with my family. We hang on the beach and take a rest here. And I saw a weird species lay on the beach. I get in close to it and try to touch it. It returned to the ocean very quickly. Guess what? The next time I see this species, it's on the restaurant just nearby the beach. At this time, I get in more close to it and try to research on the internet what this species is. And I found it is the horseshoe crabs. It is the creature very important to our human beings. So, why this issue is important? We care about pandas, tigers, but why this quite ugly and weird-looking species? It's because horseshoe crabs is very important to our human and ecology. First is their contribution on the medical field. Inside of horseshoe crab's blue blood, there's a special cell can testing for the bacteria, which can support human to making our vaccines, such as the COVID and flu vaccines. Second, horseshoe crab's eggs are the main food for the bird during migration. Third, horseshoe crab's cave can provide oxygen to the seafloor sediment. Well, you may still think that the extinction of the horseshoe crabs is not that important because every time, every minute, there's animal extinct in our Earth. And there's no impact to our human beings. We live still well. So the question is, what if the horseshoe crabs do not exist anymore? According to service data from AMSF, there's 500,000 horseshoe crabs being caught for every year. And as you can see on the yellow line, the number of catching horseshoe crabs are increasing for every year. And so which leading to the number of decline of the horseshoe crabs. If one day we really do not have any horseshoe crabs anymore, we will have no new safety vaccines can take because the horseshoe crab's blood is the necessary thing to making the vaccines, and there's no things can instead of their blood currently. Also, the food chain will also disruptions. If there's no horseshoe crabs anymore, no more horseshoe crabs eggs, the bird will losing their main food. So you can see that the survival of the horseshoe crabs is highly related to our human beings and the ecology. Also, I'm the big fan of researching the marine life. So at this time, I have enjoyed the service learning project formed by the OPCF to investigate the number of the horseshoe crabs in Hong Kong. So how did I find more about this issue? Well, I mainly use the secondary and primary research. For the secondary research, I find how do NGOs investigate and protect the horseshoe crabs and what action they had taken on their official website, such as how they to conduct an investigation and policies, what has they already achieved, also what are their goals for their futures. For the primary research, I had enjoyed the field trip which formed by the NGO. We went to a beach in Xiabaini and investigate the number of the horseshoe crabs here. Also, I had organized the questions to interview with the NGOs. So, what did I find in these service learning activities? My key finding can deliver in the 2 parts. One is my experience in the field trip, and one is the in the interview. As you can see on the bottom of the slide, are the picture I took from the service learning day. We went to a beach in Xiabaini, and after the NGO staff introduced the safety introductions, we just arrived at the beach. As you can see, the environment around that place, the beach is quite dirty, right? There's plastic product on here and the water is polluted. The color is closely into the deep red. And there's fish escaped from the water to the land. And there's an interesting thing. There was a fish successfully escaped from the water to the land. And there was a NGO staff saw that, and she just put the fish back to the polluted water. You know that fish only have 7 seconds of memories. It can just forget that pain. I guess at this time, if the fish can speak, the fish will say, "Just let me go, please." So you can imagine the horseshoe crabs living in such an environment. In the later interview, I also got the information the factors influence the number of the horseshoe crabs, which expect of the pollution of their living environment, also the overfishing. Every year, there's 500,000 horseshoe crabs are caught for food or the medical purpose. 30 of them died in the blood testing. Even people release them back to the ocean after the blood testing. The survival rate is less than the 50%. So those are the reasons why there's high decline number of the horseshoe crabs. So how the NGO addressed this issue? Well, they had involved the volunteers to help them to clean up the beach. Also, they had find ways how to protect the horseshoe crabs, and they had formed the speech in the schools and the public place to let more people know what the horseshoe crab is and how important are these species. So what are the elimination and challenge in these service learning activities? Well, for the NGO, the OPCF, the first is the financial pressure, because they are the non-government funding organization, so they have to take care about every decision they have make. They have no money to waste. Secondly is the public perceptions. Not many people know what are the horseshoe crab is, so how to protect them. Thirdly is the conflict of the interest. The fisherman depends on fishing, and the horseshoe crabs have the high value, so it is difficult to regulate the fisherman to catching the horseshoe crabs. Well, for my own self, the challenge will be the bad weather issue, because during the service learning day, there's a big rainstorm is coming, so we only had 10 minutes to investigate on the beach, and we did not see any horseshoe crabs here. So less data collections, and I only can get the information from the interview with the NGO also on the website. So overall, is the project successful? Well, I would say it is successful. Even I did not see the real horseshoe crabs during the service learning activity day, but I learned about the horseshoe crabs population survey and the conservation process from the NGOs. So if I can do it again, how can I improve? I will have more connection with the NGO, because the people are quite shy. Many times I just listening the information from the NGO, but not asking them. Also preparing more before the activities, knew more about the step of the investigations, and preparing the tools. Also, next time, check the weather report. So did I learn from these service learning activities? Yes, of course. I had deeply get the feeling about protecting the horseshoe crabs, and not the environmentalism, but the for our human future health. Nowadays, the organizations are taking their power to protecting the horseshoe crabs. But for our own self, we can also contribute our own power, such as reducing use of single-use plastic product and help to clean up the beach, and do not eat or buy the horseshoe crabs. Finally, I'd like to leave you with a final thought. In these beautiful cities, their citizens had lived for 450 million years. But nowadays, they are getting too extinct because of our mistake. Their blood is protecting our health. So the question is, what if the last horseshoe crabs disappear? Is it on that moment we will try to know more and think about and concern about the horseshoe crabs? Thank you.